Ahmad Shakur. A young man by the name of Tirekus Atwood says that the same thing that happened to Rasheem Carter almost happened to him. He barely escaped with his life. Let's get into it. Tirekus Atwood says that he was taken from Laurel, Mississippi to Smith County by some racist white men. And they took him there and they beat him. They allowed him to break out of the truck just so that they could chase him. They literally were hunting him like an animal. He said that he felt like he was being chased like a deer. They took his shoes from him, okay, and allowed him to run. They gave him a head start and they let him run until he couldn't run anymore. They beat the mess out of him, broke his tooth. He said he still has bite marks from the dogs. They're saying that he has suffered broken bones, but luckily he escaped with his life. Now, this all happened down there in the Laurel, Taylorsville, Mississippi area. And then when he went to the Taylorsville police, well, they simply told him that he didn't have any proof and there was nothing they could do. And they asked him, what did he do for all of this to happen? They didn't ask him what the men looked like. Who were these men? Do you have any of their names? They asked him, what did he do for any of this to happen? I want you to pay attention. This is exactly what happened to Rasheem Carter. Now we know. You see, even though Rasheem isn't here to tell a story, we can surmise that this is exactly what happened to him. Please pay attention. Just like Tirekus Atwood, Rasheem Carter said that he was being chased. These men were chasing him in trucks, and they were yelling and saying racial slurs and threatening him and all of that. There was an image of him captured where he didn't have on a shirt. Rasheem Carter was out in the woods with no shirt on. They say his work boots were never found. His pants were wet as if he'd been chased through water, maybe running through a creek or something like that. This is all so sick. For any of you who ever saw the movie Surviving the Game with Ice-T, this is exactly what they did in the movie. They took this man out in the woods, okay, they gave him a head start, and then they chased him, and they hunted him like an animal. You see, the thing about this isn't anything new. This is something that has gone on for years, even centuries. This happened back during slavery. It was always some sort of sport to psychopathic people. And also, I want you to pay attention because the chief of police, Gabe Horn, I absolutely think that he is involved in this. People who look like Gabe Horn actually said that he brought a hate group to the peaceful protest for Rasheem Carter. And also, allegedly, he took his dog to the Ainsworth Veterinary Clinic in Taylorsville, Mississippi, and the dog's stomach had to be pumped, and it was found to have contained human remains. The veterinarian then called the FBI, and Gabe Horn wasn't happy about it. So yeah, how did his dog get human remains in the dog's stomach, if this is in fact true? At the end of the day, there's something very nefarious going on down there in Taylorsville, Laurel, Mississippi area. And people that look like me, you need to stay out of there. And those of you that are there, you need to protect one another because this is all wicked and quite frankly satanic. Pay attention. TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Hello everyone, this is lynched with another news and commentary. First and foremost, before I start this video, I will give a shout out to Dr. Ahmad Shakur on her TikTok for this story. Now, this story happened about a month ago, right? This is another Rasheem Carter. Tirekus Atwood. Now, this is the same thing that happened to Rasheem Carter that happened to him. Luckily, he made it out alive. So, the same situation, and this incident also happened in Taylorsville, Mississippi. Now, this is the same town that basically lynched Rasheem Carter. Now, Tirekus Atwood, you know, escaped with his life, and the only difference is that he tried to get his family. His family was involved, and you know the entire family was involved. And guess what? He called the same police department in Taylorsville, Mississippi, the same police department that, of course, Rasheem Carter called, and nothing's been done. Now it happened the same thing again with Tirekus Atwood. See, ladies and gentlemen, it's that part of Mississippi. A lot of you black people, y'all need to stay away from. Matter of fact, move the heck up out of there, because as long as you're there, you're in danger. Your black men, black women, and black kids there are in danger because now you're dealing with two similar incidents in the same town, and that police chief there don't care. And so this police chief acting like when it comes to Rasheem Carter, they allow protests, blah, 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 peaceful protests. But let's be real. He's a part of their system too. And basically why the Department of Justice or the FBI aren't involved in this investigation, because they try to do what they did back, and this is basically is nothing changing in Mississippi. This is like Mississippi burning. When you have the feds involved, they don't want the feds or anybody outside involved in this investigation because that's their thing. They're doing their thing there. They're keeping their laws there. But it shows you that Tirekus, escaped, and he told his story. Unfortunately, Rasheem Carter couldn't tell his story because he's already been lynched. And this brother right there almost lynched. But if it wasn't for him, kicking out of this place, kicking out of the window and ran away and, basically get his family and let the family call authorities, he would be just like Rasheem Carter. All his body parts will be all over the same area in Taylorsville, Mississippi. Same with Rasheem Carter. But again, luckily, he made it out alive. It's a shame, y'all. With Taylorsville, Mississippi, and I'm going to tell you like this, why are y'all staying there? We already know how racist that town is. And especially if it's a sundown town, if you go there at night, it's making things worse. But I'm glad that brother made it out alive, because the last thing you need will be another Rasheem Carter. But even with that, they show you that they try to sweep this story under the rug. But it took YouTubers like Amajan Shakur and other YouTubers, and now me, talking about this case, with other mainstream media won't talk about this case because they acting like, hey, this story ain't nothing new. We just move on to this major story. And this is an important story because, again, this situation could be the next Rasheem Carter. And they didn't take this story really seriously. So y'all let me know what you think about this in the comments, and I'll talk to you in my next video. This is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.